Previously, the group was very startled to see that Sean had two arms again. She gave Keelan credit for it, and he gave a brief explanation of what he'd done of alchemy to regrow her arm. The group took a look at the map of the sewers that Keelan had gotten while Sean cast water walk on everyone but Keelan. Then she got information from the bartender at the Wyvern's Claw about where to go, and the group set off. Once they arrived at the locked door that led into the sewers, Keelan sent a frog to look for other entrances. When said frog didn't return after a fair bit of time, Sean started to pick the lock instead. Then the group made their way inside. Keelan told everyone to hold back as they reached the first turn in the tunnels, as it was marked a danger zone on the map. He looked around the corner and saw two steel golems there surrounded by dead bodies, so he quickly backed up. Tari and Sean knew that steel golems were usually only used by nobles, so the odds were the House Mirkwood had put them there. The previous forces who'd been attacked had worked for them, though, so clearly something was wrong. Sean tried slipping forward with the medallion of House Mirkwood, and for a moment everything seemed to be fine. Then the golems sparked, and they stopped recognizing the symbol. A fight then ensued. Sean went unconscious, and several of the group other than her were injured quite a bit. Especially when, upon being defeated, the golems exploded with lightning energy. In the aftermath of the fight, Sean healed herself and anyone who needed it. While she did, Odds found the first barrel of explosives and set up the wires for it. Taria and Zaya gathered potential explosives from the remains of the golems. Then Keelan and Sean took a look at the dead bodies, and Sean realized they were from the first group that went into the tunnels, not the second. They moved forward, and Keelan saw that the bridge that led over the water was trapped. Most of the group just jumped over the water, but Sean and Zaya weren't athletic enough, so they tried walking across it with water walk. Both of them lost their balance in the process, though, which led to some quick actions to get them back on their feet. There was a grate up ahead, and Keelan sent Saba underwater to try and turn the wheel that controlled it. Saba turned it in the wrong direction, which made the room start filling with water as the flow picked up even more. Tarnak and Zaya ended up pinned to the ceiling under the water as the room was completely filled. Taria tried to Misty Step underwater to turn the wheel, but she couldn't turn it and ended up pinned to the ceiling as well. Zaya took her chance and Misty stepped out of the water. Sean dispelled magic on Taria so she could swim downwards and try to turn the wheel again, but she still couldn't get it to turn and ended up pinned under it instead. Keelan then dove into the water to try to help. It failed. At that, Sean cast Control Water and reversed the flow. They were then able to turn the wheel the correct way when drowning was no longer on the table. There was a small side room just past it, and when Oz took a look inside, he saw that the walls were unusually clean. Keelan and Saba joined him to try to find out what was causing it, just in time for a gelatinous cube to engulf Saba. Oz soon joined him inside. The group was able to eventually take out the gelatinous cube, although Saba temporarily died in the process. They checked the next room, where every solid surface was covered in a sticky substance of some type, and they decided to backtrack and get some rest. Taria studied the residue and realized it was from a metal-eating slime. They decided to re-up water walk since trying to potentially fight anything while swimming would go badly. They moved forward, finding a barrow in a small side room that Taria used her unseen servant to hook up to some wires. Then they saw that the next room was filled with deep water that had a greenish tinge to it. Keelan pulled some of it closer with shape water and saw that it was sticky. The slime was clearly in the water somewhere. A few of them used illusions to draw it out and confirm it definitely was in the room. Then they waited long enough for Taria to get out of her heavy armor and into some borrowed leathers before preparing to start attacking the slime. And that is where we left off.